Wilson and Muslim debater Daniel Hakikachu collide in Nashville, Tennessee this November 15th and 16th at DebateCon 6 on whether or not Christian or Islamic values are better for society. You don't want to miss it. Grab your tickets by clicking on this link right now so you don't miss out on this epic debate conference featuring that debate and many others. Hey everybody, tonight we're debating feminism on trial, and we are starting right now with Taylor's opening statement. Thanks for being with us, Taylor. The floor is all yours.
Thank you, James. Thanks everybody. Thank you, Jasmine, for being here. All right, so feminism has been used as a nebulous and ever-changing term by women for decades. This social justice movement has seemingly aimed to correct inequities between men and women, though tonight I will argue that not only is feminine no longer a concept that is relevant or needed in the United States, but is actually doing active harm to women, and we need to undo many of feminist accomplishments. Feminism insists not just that men and women are equal in dignity and should be treated as such in law, which I agree with, but that men and women are actually the same and should be treated as such. Some of the ideas that have been touted by feminists include right to abortions, the normalization of porn and casual sex, and ultimately the destruction of the nuclear family. I will argue that all of this is ultimately harmful to women, which in theory should be antithetical to a feminist goal. Women and children fare much better in the nuclear family structure, one mom, one dad, children. We can see that the ultimate agenda, propaganda of feminism has pushed for women to work, not pursue marriage or children. Feminism often presents the male role as the superior one, asking why don't men just stay home or why can't women go work? The denigration of women's roles is one of the most, in my opinion, harmful aspects of feminism. I've heard Jasmine use the term in debates self-actualize often, that women aim to self-actualize. And I would say that there is no higher order than motherhood. Women also have really never not had the option to work. They just typically didn't want to. Women are also not happier. Women are twice as likely to be on antidepressants as men, and those rates have grown rapidly over the past 60 years or so. There's a paper from Harvard entitled The Paradox of Declining Female Happiness. It was found that even though earnings, education, control over fertility, legal and social rights have risen, subjective reported happiness is down absolutely and relatively to men over the last 30 years. There is a perception that marriage and children will make women unhappy, undoubtedly caused by the feminist propaganda of the last 100 years. Women's perceptions, a certain study that just came out in August 2025 cites, says that from Pew Research, 32% of women, it says that the perception is that only 32% of women that marry and have children will lead happier and fuller lives. That's the only amount of women that think that will lead to happier and fuller lives. And that this data set also noted that only 45% of women cited wanting children, and more men actually cited wanting children. But this is not the truth. Feminism has lied to you. This data set went on to do an extensive survey with over 3,000 participants. It was through the Wheatley Institute of Family Studies, and it showed that the happiest women are those who are married with children, followed by those who are unmarried with children. It controlled for economic status, age, education level. It almost doubles by reported happiness from women that are married with children to women who are unmarried with children. They also report life being more enjoyable. There's a huge gap in report for feeling lonely with married with children versus unmarried with children. And the numbers basically double when they say that they actually have a strong sense of purpose in their life. So women that are married with children report almost doubly having a clear sense of purpose. These results sound a lot like women self-actualizing to me. Feminism overall promotes the self and individualism. There is seemingly no duty attached to feminism outside of just doing what you want. I don't think feminists hold that same standard to men, as they rely on many men for jobs and roles that women are incapable of or just don't want to do. I believe both sexes have duties, and they're complementary to each other and equally important. Men have a role to provide, build larger society, and women have the unique privilege of having and raising children. There are always exceptions to the rule. I will just put that out there. The destruction of the nuclear family harms not only women, but children. I have a study, which I can go over later in the dialogue, but basically that children are much safer in married households than they are in any other situation. The normalization of porn has been extremely detrimental to women. Porn comes with occupational risks. Women have a harder time finding jobs. Porn often preys on the vulnerable. A majority of women cite past sexual trauma that participate in the porn industry. I found a study that shows that 88% of porn features physical or verbal violence. And I found another study that shows that there's a significant association between porn usage in men and men seeing women as objects and holding attitudes like if women wear revealing clothing, they're asking for it. It also shows that they held a higher acceptance of aggression towards women. And there's a strong correlation between porn use and men enacting verbal and physical aggression on women. Porn leads to worse outcomes in marriage, higher divorce. So it's like the list goes on. I have many studies. I would say Jasmine was a lucky percentage of a percentage that has made it on OnlyFans. The average user is making around $150 a month. She may flaunt her wealth as a sign of OnlyFans being a good thing for women, but I would ask, is materialism the greatest good we have for women, or are we interested in women overall? I have also heard Jasmine state that she would support legal prostitution in all 50 states. I found a study by Cho et al. That shows that legal prostitution leads to a rise in illegal sex trafficking. So I will posit the question, who really cares about women between the two of us? I think feminists overall have a hard time proving the worldview of people should just be able to do what they want. There may be outcomes on the other side. So I would say if we're coming from a utilitarian perspective, higher birth rates, two-family households, and less violence towards children and women are good things. We've seen the opposite with feminism. I posit we should shift whatever it is feminism claims to be now, much of which is simply the individualistic outlook, to instead promoting femininity, family, and the well-being of women, which lies, I believe, in the nuclear family. And I will end there. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that opening. Folks, if it's your first time here at Modern Day Debate, I'm your host, Dr. James Coons. We are a neutral channel hosting debates on science, religion, and politics. And if you have not heard, if you've been living in a cave on Mars with your fingers in your ears, DebateCon 6, our in-person debate conference, is happening this November 15th and 16th in Nashville, Tennessee. You don't want to miss it. Meet and see debaters like Andrew Wilson, Rachel Wilson, Apostate Prophet, Daniel Hokikachu, Made by Jim Bob, many more. Get your tickets in the description box right now. With that, we're going to kick it over to Jasmine for her opening as well. Thanks for being with us. The floor is all yours.
Thanks for having me. Thank you, Taylor, for that great opening. She's far more organized and prepared than I am, so bear with me. I'm just kind of going through notes I have from like previous debates, kind of touching on a lot of points that she made, but she made a lot of points, and I am excited to get into a lot of those during the discussion so we can focus on each thing individually. I think feminism is good for society for a multitude of reasons. Even if we just look at the economy, we add trillions to the economy. Women in the workforce tend to lead to higher GDPs. Countries that have more women in the workforce tend to have higher GPDs. It's hard to pretty much remain competitive on a global scale without that. More women working lead to larger labor force, more skilled workers, higher household incomes, and more economic spending, which boosts economic growth. Led to lower violence. And I know Taylor doesn't seem to be as extreme as because it's hard with these debates when you don't know who you're getting. Sometimes you're like, oh, look, marital rape was outlawed. And they're like, oh, that's bad. It's good. Intimate partner violence has declined by 64% because of that, including things like the Violence Against Women Act. These are things that have been brought about because of feminism. As when it comes to children who are kids that are in households with nuclear families, that is true, that is great, but those children typically have better outcomes when the mother works as well. Maternal education is one of the number one predictors of childhood outcomes when it comes to cognitive abilities. They're having higher incomes in the future. College-educated women are the least likely to get divorced. They're the only women whose marriage rates are going up. Their children have better health outcomes, like all kinds of things. It's actually crazy when you really look into it, and we can get into all of those things later. Let me see. Sorry, guys. even vocab, for instance, children that have educated mothers. There's actually a study that shows that they learn about how many million, 30 million more words by age 3 than families with lower educational attainment. Education and women in the workforce, women working, is typically only what we see is typically only better outcomes for themselves and for children and for the country. When it comes to happiness, I think that's a really difficult thing to measure. Like, are people more happy now? Like if you go poll women in Afghanistan, or you go poll women, even like, I mean, I'm from Iran, and you go poll my grandmother who got married at 13 and had a bunch of kids when she was like 12. Yeah, she's going to say she's happy, but that's also because they don't know any better. Women are just more able to express when they are not happy. And also we don't necessarily know what exactly is causing the lack of happiness. I know people like to just throw in, oh, it's feminism, because everybody wants to pick the thing that they don't like, but a lot has changed and people are less happy in general, men and women. A lot of people can attribute it to social media, economic pressures, and, you know, some people can say it's feminism, but you're going to have to prove that. Let's see, I might just leave it there just so we can go through everything one by one. Oh, I guess more things with the happiness. Forcing women into domestic roles is often linked to depression. It's not like women were really happy in the past and we just didn't know it. I mean, there was a whole thing called the feminine mystique, or like housewife syndrome. Housewives drinking in the middle of the day, getting prescribed Valium at like crazy rates. Me and my boyfriend are actually, I've watched Mad Men, but he hasn't watched Mad Men, and we've been watching it. And I think it's one of the greatest shows of all time. And it kind of shows a little bit of what things were like for women back in the 60s. And I don't know who would say we should go back there. Most women say they want flexibility with their job. They don't say they don't want to work or they don't want to just sit at home. They want flexibility. We know that also women who stay at home are more likely to report depression, anxiety, etc., than women who work. All right, I'll just leave it there just because I'm so unorganized, and we can just go into dialogue and just go from there.
You got it. Thank you very much for that opening as well. We're going to jump into the dialogue. First, quick note, folks, if you have not seen, actually, you haven't seen, I can guarantee it because we just launched it today. You can see at the bottom right of your screen, the Indiegogo crowdfund for DebateCon 6 has launched. You can get perks there, such as a signed photo of your favorite debater. As you see at the bottom right of your screen, beautiful photo of Andrew. I mean, he wishes his autograph was that good. I've seen his handwriting. That's just an example photo, but that's what you can get, folks, is check out that crowdfund link. I'm putting that in the description box, or I should say the live chat right now, both of them. With that, thank you very much. Taylor and Jasmine, the floor is all yours for open dialogue.
Taylor, you can start because you have everything more organized on like what you want to focus on.
Sure. I'm trying. I took some notes as you were talking. I feel like you jumped around a lot, but so did I, so it's okay. Yeah. So I would say like your stat on economy, like I don't think what was exactly your stat that just women working contributes to the economy? Is that your claim?
The economy in countries with higher gender equality and more women participating in the workforce does tend to lead to women having higher GDP per capita. World Bank in 2010 confirmed this, as well as the ILO. And it's really not even disputed. I don't know of anywhere that would say otherwise. If you have something, I'd love to look at it. It's just pretty standard. The only country.
How are you linking that to just women's well-being in general? Would you say just like the GDP?
No, I'm saying, well, yeah, obviously, I'm not linking it to women's. I didn't know if the debate was just about women's well-being. I thought it was about society as a whole.
Sure, but okay. Can I ask you a separate question that maybe we can just like have? Let's just like get some, so we know what we're talking about. Like, what would you say is the goal of feminism? Like,
I think women in the workforce don't lead to better economy. And more.
I think that we have a lot of debt right now. I think we have more debt than we ever have. I think women hold a lot of debt. I think that women entering the workforce has just like watered down wages. I mean, we're gonna have to talk about like what a better economy means. I mean, we have more debt than ever.
He is a really good indicator. What country do you want to live in where women are not participating in the workforce that you think is doing better than America?
I don't think I even said that women shouldn't participate in the workforce. I didn't say that at all. I said that, and women have always worked. That was part of my opening, that women have never really been excluded from the workforce. They just like didn't really want to work most of the time. And they're actually, I mean, I know it's hard when we're just like citing studies past each other, but I would like to see some of your studies because a lot of studies I've seen have just kind of contradicted everything you said. But wait, one thing I think we can clear up is like, what do you think is the role of feminism now? Like, what would you say is like the role of feminism now? Or if you're a feminist, what is your goal? What is your overall goal?
Just the social, political, and economic equality between the sexes.
Do women have that right now? Do women have social, political, legal equity?
Yeah, and I think it's great. I'm happy. You're the one that's unhappy. I think it's fine.
Okay, and so you cited like
Debates is because people like you are trying to take us backwards, but I'm happy with women being in the workforce. I'm happy with the fact that women are getting more educated. I'm happy with the fact that women's wages are going up and up and up, and women have all this additional freedom, and it's helping the economy and just helping us overall. So
I'm not trying to bring women back. I also am not against women being educated. I'm fine with women being educated. I think that women should have access to materials, and I think college at large is like kind of a scam, but I think women should be educated. I never say anything about education. I think that like if we're going to talk about women's well-being and women's equality and women being like victims of certain things, I cited a lot of stats about women being the victims of violence, about certain things that feminists have sought to normalize that have ultimately had large harms for women.
Sorry, what was your study on women being victims of violence due to feminism?
Because would you agree that part of feminism has been to normalize sex work, porn industry, things like that?
Zero studies linking porn being available to higher rates of violence against women. Actually, there's a few that cite the opposite, and there's a lot that cite no change. We can go over all of this. I've debated this at large, and we can go through. Because I'd love to study you see that says that countries where there's porn lead to higher, even Jordan Peterson, actually, even though he's very anti-porn, always made this point that one of the only things that we do see is that it might actually lead to a decrease. I actually wouldn't even say that it leads to a decrease because I think the stats are muddied. They're typically either they either don't have an effect or they're showing a decrease. And I'd rather just say there's not having an effect. But if you're making the opposite claim as me, Jordan Peterson, et cetera, then I would love to see the stats for that.
I have a study that says that there's a significant association between porn usage and men claiming to see objects as women, claiming to objectify women. Do you think that objectification leads to violence?
I'd like to see the statistics for that, just because, yeah, I agree with you. You porn, and then you might look at a woman and be like, oh, thinking about porn, and that's not necessarily good. That is very different than attacking or being violent.
Okay, if I have a data point that says a strong correlation between porn use and men enacting verbal and physical aggression on women, more so verbal than physical.
I need to see a stat, and then you need to put it against mine that show that when where people watch more porn or countries where porn is legalized shows a greater number of or a greater amount of violence against women. And I need to see that, and I need to look at the methodology. And then while I do that, you can look at I have multiple studies showing the opposite. I love studies. We can sit here and go through studies, but I think that this is not even very debatable when it comes to whether or not porn actually leads to more violence against women. The only stat I've seen that is true for is within the prison population of people that are already sexual aggressors. They will typically claim that porn made them more sexually aggressive, but that is not the case on a large scale.
Okay, so we don't have to do like the studies back and forth, though. I do believe I have studies that show that like there are very negative outcomes of these things. Could you at least say that like the objectification of women is bad? Would you say that that is bad?
I think, yeah, of course, unwanted objectification of women is bad. Sure, yeah.
Okay, and do you think that modern day feminism has promoted the objectification of women? My body, like my choice. I mean, not even just through like abortion, but like, no slut shaming, like the proliferation of OnlyFans, like things like that.
I think that objectification of women has always been around. And I think that women now taking ownership, like you're talking about women doing OnlyFans, has led to the objectification of women. I think when women are reaping the profits and holding the control, I don't think that's the same thing as unwanted, harmful objectification, personally. You don't have to show your body online. I don't think people are objectifying you because I do OnlyFans. And you're going to need to show me why you think that's the case.
Okay, I guess I just don't even understand your point as a feminist in general. Like, I think that the point the hypocrisy I'm trying to point out is that I think that feminists would overall say that they care about women and that they care about the well-being of women. And I would say that the proliferation of objectifying women, the destruction of the nuclear family, pushing women away from having children, marriage, things like that, make it unsafer for women, make it harder for children overall.
Can we focus on one thing? Because that was basically just an opening line to like your thing. I want to know like specifically, like we were on this point about OnlyFans and how OnlyFans harms women because it's objectification. Women taking ownership of their sexuality and profiting off of it, you're going to have to explain to me why that is worse for society, and why that leads to greater objectification, period.
I think that when you normalize porn, it leads to greater objectification of women. Yes. I think that's just like a thing we can use our logic to come to. I think that when we normalize porn in the porn industry, that leads to higher objectification of women. If you want to even not talk about OnlyFans, if you want to talk about just like the porn industry in general, do you agree that women more often are the victims of the porn industry? That women are victims within the porn industry?
Look, I guess, yeah, victims, sure. But I do think that there's not every person in the sex industry is a victim or an unwilling.
I didn't say every person. I didn't say every person. Do you think that there are victims of the sex industry? Do you think there are victims of like this?
More feminist policies towards like sex work or even the proliferation of something like OnlyFans has worked to help like combat a lot of the issues in mainstream and traditional porn. That's why I'm very pro OnlyFans. So if you want to say that there are issues with mainstream porn, I am right there with you. And that's why I think we should promote platforms like OnlyFans that I think work to combat a lot of those issues.
So you're against platforms like Pornhub?
I'm not against platforms like Pornhub, especially because Pornhub has changed its structure so much in order to make it more like individual creators. You need to upload, like, trust me, I'm on Pornhub. I need to upload a consent form for every single person that's on there. That is not what it used to be. Now, I don't look at the contracts that people signed these days, but I do know I'm very against, and I would warn women that want to get into this industry to hand over ownership of your content. You're able to keep that while doing Pornhub, OnlyFans, etc. So yeah, I would advise women not to hand over their content to have it be owned by another platform, so that you can't control who sees it and when they see it and if you want it off the platform. And I do think Pornhub has been better about that because they've gotten in trouble in the past.
Do you think that there is like a better, like if just a hypothetical, like if a woman came to you and said, I want to do OnlyFans, like I want the freedom, I want the money, I want control of my body, whatever, but I also like maybe want to settle down and have a family and be a mom. Do you see no difference between those two options just for well-being of the woman and society?
I don't think we should treat women as a monolith. I think we're right here. We're two very different women with two very different hopes, dreams, desires. I don't think I'm also a lawyer. I don't think everyone should go be a lawyer. I think so for someone like you, what you're doing seems to work for you. And for someone like me, what I'm doing seems to work for me. I would never tell every woman you need to go be a mom and wife. And I wouldn't tell every woman to go do OnlyFans. If someone came to me and said, I want to do OnlyFans, I would sit there and I would tell them it's not for everybody. It's actually for a very, very small amount of people. You have to have the temperament for it.
Why is it for a small group of people? Why is it for everybody?
Because you have to have the temperament for it. You're going to get a lot of hate, and not a lot of people like that. A lot of people don't even like being social media influencers or content creators, period, because that hate gets to them. You need to be prepared with people seeing it. So some people, if it violates your morals or your values, or you don't want people to see it, you got to assume people are going to see it. And it's not going to be as easy as you think. If you think that you're just going to do it for a quick buck, that's also not a good reason. I do think that you should wait until you're a little bit older. I don't think you should get married at 18, and I don't think you should start an OnlyFans at 18. I think both of those are decisions that will impact you for a long period of time. So
are those equal in outcome and harm, getting married and starting OnlyFans, would you say, for women?
I think that if anything, getting married can sometimes lead to worse outcomes. Honestly, if someone was like, I want to get married at 18 and get knocked up, divorce rates are very high. The best rates to get 26 to 32 seem to be your divorce rate. The likelihood of you getting divorced is like twice as high if you get married at 18 than when you get married at 26. And when you get married to someone and you have kids, that is going to affect you for the rest of your life. OnlyFans could, and it could not. A lot of people start it, get off of it, and their lives are back to normal. So
okay. these are like really anecdotal things. Like I know that we don't have a lot of data on OnlyFans. Like it is hard to find data on OnlyFans. It's a new thing. But I just feel like it's a little dishonest to say that like, oh, okay, like marriage will have these awful outcomes. Like divorce rates are high. Like divorce is divorce. Like I agree divorce is bad. Wait, but to say that like OnlyFans is just like, oh, you'll just get off and your life will be back to normal. Like that is very disingenuous, I think, to a lot of women. Like I just don't think. Say it again. I can't hear you.
Yeah, I said for some people. Now there's like this idea that you see thrown around, which is really comical in like Red Pill or these spaces, that if you go and you're going to make like $1 and you're going to post one picture, and then no one will marry you and nobody will like you. If you get an OnlyFans career to the level that I have and your face is plastered everywhere, yes, that's going to have consequences that you should be aware of. Getting married at 18 and having children also has consequences you should be aware of. It's not just anecdotal. It's not just anecdotes. It's not even an anecdote. I never got married at 18. I don't actually know anyone who got married at 18 personally, but we can look at the data and we can show that they don't tend to fare off better than if you wait, go to college, and then get married in your mid-20s or older. So I don't think that's anecdotal. I think that's just fact.
You're saying, okay, but it's like a false equivalence because you're saying like, okay, wait, I'm fine. Wait until your mid-20s. That's fine. I mean, I don't think it's ideal. I think women and people should get married young. But you're saying like there's a difference between saying like get married at 18 and wait. Then there's no difference between getting married at 18 and starting an OnlyFans at 18. That those are both equal and fine options. That there's no like the consequences are equally like dire for both.
It's dependent on the person. I don't think either are fine, and I don't think either are things that I would recommend. Now, if you force me and said which one is riskier, I personally, and this is just me, you're asking me the question, would say probably getting married is gonna have is riskier because that is a huge decision. So is doing OnlyFans. Don't do either one. Wait until you're older. Don't get into lifelong, don't make decisions that could affect you for the rest of your life when you're that young. Go explore, go get educated, go decide what you want to do, try out a few things, and then make one of these decisions if you have to make one.
Okay. I had a question for you. I mean, so what I'm hearing like is that your idea of feminism is just like women should do what they want. Is that like more or less your vibe for like your women, like that we should be able to do what they want? Don't force us to do anything. Don't like, it's just like whatever you want. If you're good for OnlyFans, you do that. If you're good for marriage, you do that. Is that like the vibe?
I guess it's about equality for the most part. I do believe agency and choice are good things. And I think that if you're talking about well-being and happiness, since you love that, increasing agency, when people have more agency and control over their life and their decisions, they tend to report higher levels of well-being and happiness.
Right.
Now,
do you believe in the power of like, so do you believe in the power of like social propaganda? Like, do you believe that if a movement tells you a million things over and over again, that can influence your choices?
Of course.
Okay. And so do you see that in feminism at all? That when feminism says things like, oh, you don't need a man, just go work. Like men and women are the same. You should be equal. You can work just like a man. Women, like, forget about your biological imperatives. Forget about your unique skill sets as a mother. We don't want to value those. Do you think women hear that? Like, is that?
And I think for most of our history, they were hearing the opposite message, right?
Yeah.
Your worth is just tied up in being a mother, and I think that is like your message has been the dominating message for most.
What's wrong with that? What's wrong with saying women's worth is in being a mother?
Because that's not all you don't get to determine what everybody's worth is. That you can find that empowering for yourself, but you don't get to tell people that they find worth and they find value in the same thing you do.
Even when they're happier. That I just showed you the study that shows that women are happier when they have children and they find more purpose.
There's a lot of studies. In fact, I think one of the most interesting things is dinks, dual income, no kids. They seem to be living it up. And I could show you a study right now showing that the happiness studies, the reason I don't really like to use them as much anymore when it comes to anything is because even Institute of Family Studies had a study on how actually marriage makes you more happy, but kids makes you less happy. The overall data does show being married or having a lifelong like partner, but even that is kind of contested because even that could be correlation versus versus causation. So especially with happiness, it's flimsy, it's subjective. It's hard to quantify anyway. But then on top of that, when you're using a lot of like causation and trying to pretend that this is all the studies say this one thing and this is the truth, it doesn't. Like I've looked into this a fair amount. And again, it seems like having a partner and being married, people tend to be happier. Again, we don't know if that's correlation versus causation. Children seem to be a lot more varied on the studies. There are some studies that show that. A lot of them also say that while they have minor children in the home, they're less happy. But when they get old, then the children are out, they are more happy and they do find more fulfillment and purpose. Again, we can go study for study if you want, but this is not like a cut and dry. We know for a fact that having children makes you happier, and there's no data showing otherwise. That's not true.
Okay, I mean, the Institute of Family Studies is the one I just cited, showing that children do make you happier, both in married and if you're not married with children.
Okay,
so
you're telling me there was a new thing that they did and they
literally a month ago in August 2025. So
that's not the only one.
I fine, and I also agree that like self-reported happiness is very dubious. I guess I just am trying to understand your metric on like goodness, and like if we have a duty as a society to like have the best outcomes long term. So if we want to look at things like fertility rate, if we want to look at things like actual like fulfillment, does feminism like give women any duties, or are they just like they can just do what they want when they want because they have the choice?
Like, unless you're just like a complete degenerate, like you could say you have a duty to be a good friend, you have a duty to be a good coworker. Like I don't think duty has to be involved with just being a mother and a wife. Like, again, we could go through the studies, even if you just do a quick search, which again, we have to go in through it. Children generally have a mixed and complex effect on parent happiness. Some research shows an average negative effect in the short term, though it can be offset. Like, it's so complicated. As for like birth rates, economic development and standard of living are the big predictors of birth rates. Urbanization, people, as we moved away from like agricultural societies, where we like when kids were like working on farms, we just see that low GDP is associated with birth rates. That's why you see the only countries with replacement rates that are above replacement rates are like Africa, places in the Middle East, where are less developed economies, even places like Iran, like where my parents are from. I don't think they're overrun with feminism, but they're just having less kids because of that. So a lot of the places other than Israel is like an exception. But for the most part, places where people have higher standards of living and a better economy, they just want less kids. You can't pin feminism as the reason just because you want to.
I think we can look at countries in which feminism was introduced, and we can look at timelines, especially in the United States, of birth rates declining like rapidly with the introduction of progressivism. Like, yes, we can look at that. That is just like.
Do you know what correlation?
Yes, I know. I have a degree in psychology. I understand correlation versus causation, but you're doing a lot of that conflation as well. So, like,
you're the one making the claim that feminism has caused lower birth rates as the main contributor. It could be.
It could be, but we can also use like our logic and reason to say that if we keep telling women that like motherhood is a prison and making up these narratives about like the 1950s housewife, like you literally you quoted a TV show as proof of like women were miserable. Like that's not a reliable source of saying like you watch Mad Men and that like women were miserable then. Like that's not data.
Yeah, but I also I think it does a good job of showcasing realities, like confirmed realities. Women drinking a lot, such as you think women are medicated now? The type they would prescribe women back then to deal with the housewife syndrome or the feminine mystique or all these.
I don't know. I don't know how true that is. And like, neither do you. It feels like propaganda. So let's not even use it, but we can use.
Do you think Iran is getting a bunch of feminist propaganda? Because why do you think their birth rates are lower? Why do you think birth rates are lower in so many countries, especially countries that have better?
But it's not good that the birth rates are low. Like that's not a good thing. So I'm talking about how do we remedy that? How do we create a society that encourages family and children? And I don't think
we're free to do that. And if people want to have kids, people want to have kids. Very rarely do people make decisions because of, I'm going to have kids because I want to contribute to the birth rate. That's why this has been really hard. And I try to, like, for instance, I want to say, if only we have pro-family policies like paid leave and blah, 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 people will have more kids, but they've also.
okay, women could just stay home. We don't need paid family leave. Women can just stay home and raise the children. Like that's where is the duty? I'm not buying that like the whole purpose of life is materialism, that the purpose of life is choice, and as long as you can do whatever you want, that's like the best outcome. I don't buy it.
But I also don't think that you can make people have kids because you think they have a duty. Like that's it's this problem has been really hard to fix. It has been really hard. We haven't found a solution for promoting birth rates, and people coming online and just saying that, well, Christianity says so. That doesn't work for people who aren't Christian. That doesn't work for people who don't.
No one talked about Christianity except for
your duty. I mean, like telling people you should have a kid because you have a duty, try it. See if that works.
I don't think that's not what I'm even saying. I'm saying that we build a social structure that encourages women to see themselves more as like a commodity than first of all, we stop treating women like commodities. We take what maybe some of the early feminists were actually interested in, which is not objectifying women and putting a price tag on them. I think that feminists are very confused. I think that you guys can't even like label or agree upon your movement in general. I think that your version of feminism is very different from another woman's version of feminism. I don't think that you guys actually care about women as a whole. I have all these stats that I said about women being victims, women having issues with, sex trafficking through porn. Do you have anything to say about things like that? Like women in countries?
Violence, we already talked about that. Feminism, like marital rape was outlawed in 1994 due to things like that actually have decreased domestic violence. Even no-fault divorce has led to a big decrease in
women are much safer in marriages than they are in like any other living situation. Women are like much less likely to be victims of domestic violence in a marriage.
Good, but without feminism, without things like no-fault divorce, and when you can rape your wife, that kind of led to really bad things.
So if feminism didn't come in, men would just always be raping their wives. That's your argument.
I mean, I don't think they always would be raping their wives. I don't know where you're getting that from, but it's good that we have laws preventing it because some did, and they didn't get in trouble. And because of feminism now, that is illegal.
Okay, so I guess I'm just still like having a hard time pinning down your point, like of what even is the point of feminism. It's okay, so I just have a hard time, Jasmine, believing that you care about the well-being of women when you even say things like getting married at 18 is the same amount of goodness as starting an OnlyFans. Like that just feels really disingenuous to me.
You disagree. I could sit here and say, I think like what a stupid debate. Okay, I think you don't have women's well-being at heart because their brains are not developed at all at 18, and you want them to pick a partner for the rest of their life, even though data shows that if they wait, they are far more likely to stay with that partner. And you don't care about women because you're pushing them to do this for a duty. You care about this duty thing more than you care about women. Like, see, it's a dumb debate to just go back and forth and say you don't.
Jasmine, are some things better than others? Like just in general, are some things like better than others?
Yeah, but I don't think getting married at 18 is clearly better than starting an OnlyFans. I don't believe that. That doesn't, if you want to say and sit here and say, well, then you don't care because it's so obvious. It's not obvious to me.
Because I just have the data to show you that women are happier in marriages. They're happier and they're safer. They're more fulfilled in the nuclear family.
Not at 18. I told you this is unequivocal data that people who get married at 18 have astronomically higher divorce rates than people who get married 25 and older. So for that reason alone, why would you ever encourage women to get married right when they hit legal age?
Well, if you're giving me the option between get married and start an OnlyFans, then I think the vision is clear here.
For you.
Right, but my feminism or my whatever you want to call it, my moral standard is not just about what it is for me. It's about what it is for everybody and what it is as society as a whole. Yours is about what's for you. You're working from your framework.
Have any evidence that a bunch of women getting married, like again, I don't think either one is a good decision. I think I don't know, and I haven't asked you, do you think it's a good idea to get married at 18 years old? I don't think it's a good idea to start an OnlyFans at 18, which is how this even started. I specifically said, I don't think that's a good idea. And neither do I think is getting married. Do you think getting married at 18 is a good idea?
I don't think it's the worst idea. I think women could pursue education. I think it's fine. I think the college system is very flawed and that there's other ways to be educated. But I think ultimately women should pursue the nuclear family.
Okay, so then we disagree because I think if I sit here, I just said all those stats. Yeah, I think women should get educated. College education, while you don't like it, there's a lot of data showing that it's beneficial, not only to the woman, but to their children, and to it increases marriage rates and decreases divorce. So if you care about the well-being of women, then you should be pushing people towards that, according to
Wait, can you repeat the last stats you just said?
that college educated women, it's actually the top 10% of women when it comes to education and socioeconomic status, their marriage rates are going up. Uneducated women, their marriage rates are going down. College educated women their divorce rates are lower. If you have higher education, like someone like me, if you go to grad school or you get like a PhD or anything, your divorce rates are literally half of what the rest of the population is. Also, when you go to college and you go to, like, if you get higher education, you tend to marry people that also are more successful. It's called assortative mating. You see, people tend to mate across. So it gets you a better spouse. You're more likely to stay with your spouse, and you are more likely to get married. College educated people are more likely to get married, and your kids have better outcomes. I just think it's a no-brainer.
Okay, I mean, I also, like, I never said I was against education for women, so
I think college education is a good thing.
Okay, I think it's like neutral. I think it's pretty stupid right now, just as the state of university and education is kind of a scam. And women also hold like a lot more student loan debt, so I don't think that's good for women.
But with education, also make higher incomes. Not only that, and their kids have higher incomes. And it'd be really hard to get educated, whether it's through college or anything, if you're popping out kids at 18.
I mean, okay, well, it's not, yeah, right, fine. But again, that's not my point anyway. My point is that there's like higher order goods, Jasmine, and there's things that we can work towards. There's things you want to talk all about self-actualization. There's higher purposes outside of like materialism, making a lot of money. Like these are the ends that you have is, oh, you make more money, your kids make more money because of X, Y, and Z. Like, is that the end goal?
I never said materialism is the end goal. I never said that the only reason it's good to get educated is because of that. It develops critical thinking skills. I think that's really, really good. I think that it gives you anytime you have a skill that you are able to use to participate in the labor force and take care of yourself and any
and you just said that like OnlyFans, fine, maybe not at 18, but would you say that at 26, if a woman was choosing between marriage and OnlyFans, those two things are equal in goodness and value?
Depends on the woman.
So yes, because your whole thing comes down to whatever you want. You have no objective claims ever. How do you debate?
I think that I don't think you do a one size fits all for every single person. Right? You and me are very different.
So it's all subjective morality. It's all subjective. Whatever you want, you do is the best thing.
Are you asking me to give advice based on morality or well-being or society? I don't know. You keep
asking you. You've already conceded that some things are better than others, right? Just as an objective truth, some things are better than others.
It depends on the thing, but not some things are better than others for every single person. For me, getting married at 26 instead of starting at OnlyFans would lead to a worse life for me. For you. Because I know myself. I don't want to be married. I don't want to be married at 26. That's just not what I want to do. And I know me. Instead of you infantilizing women and telling women that you know what's best for every single woman, because every single woman is exactly the same.
I was the one doing that, saying this is what's best for women, saying that women have no inherent value, that they're the thing that they were literally made to do biologically, to have children, that is worthless, and that we should push women out of the prison of womanhood and saying like, oh, that's nothing. That's not interesting. You're going to be miserable. Go and do the men's job so you can make a lot of money.
I didn't say that you should push women to do one or you should push women to do the other.
There's no difference between OnlyFans and getting married.
Depends on the woman. Now, for the majority of women, OnlyFans is probably not a good choice.
Okay, there we go.
And getting married depends on the person, depends if you want to. You probably shouldn't do it until you're in your mid-20s and probably after you have an education and you're probably working. Those seem to be big predictors of success. I mean, the three things you can do to make sure you have the highest rates of not getting divorced is 1, over 26, 2, college educated, 3, it's their first marriage. Like, if you're going to just talk about statistically what is best for women, I agree. Not everyone should do an OnlyFans, but I would feel far more comfortable pushing women generally into education and work, and getting married after the age of 25. So yeah, OnlyFans is a very niche thing. It's like 1% of American women that are doing it. I don't know why we're focusing on them. Of course I wouldn't recommend it to everybody. I wouldn't recommend my other profession to everybody either, being an attorney. That also is not good for the majority of the population. So I don't know what this point is.
The point is just as you, a self-proclaimed feminist, claiming to, I guess, fight for women. I'm just wondering what you're like fighting for, other than I want to do what I want and that's it. That just seems very self-centered.
I just said I wouldn't tell everybody. I wouldn't say generally women should do OnlyFans, but generally women should get educated and should develop skills and should be able to support themselves if needed. Like, okay, and I say that because I do care about the well-being of women. I don't know what this has to do. I never said everyone should just do whatever you want. I think that's very different than people having agency and not having a one life fits all type of approach, right? There's a good reason we're so different. There's a good reason some people really like math and they want to be engineers. Some people really want to be a lawyer. Some people want to live in a city. Some people want to live in the country. Some people want a bunch of kids. Some people want no kids. I think pushing everyone to do one thing and saying, if you don't do that, then basically you're saying they can do whatever they want and they can go do drugs and that's going to be the same. I think this is a false equivalency.
What I'm just challenging you on, what I'm seeing is that the promises of feminism seem to be like a better life for women, happiness, whatever, freedom, and all these things. And I've quoted now 2 studies and just facts that women are highly medicated on antidepressants, double than men. And the amount has gone up exponentially over the years. So it seems to me that feminism has failed, that the promises of feminism of that you'll be happier, that you'll be safer, that you'll have more success, whatever. Sure, maybe women are making more money. That makes sense. I'm just telling you, what I'm seeing is that it's not equating to better life for women overall. How do you?
I think that, for instance, saying that more people are on antidepressants, for instance,
women at a higher rate than men. Women.
I understand.
Much higher
rate than men, for sure, and men are killing themselves at higher rates too. So it's like weird to just pick one thing and then pretend that they're the worst off in society. I think men, actually, the whole reason we have a male loneliness crisis, we have all these issues with men, women are out competing men in a multitude of things. I wouldn't take that and say, oh, look, it's because something, it's men's fault, they're doing something. Also, when it comes to like, for instance, ADHD, it could have gone up, but also we're just medicating people more than we ever did. It's really easy to get medication for ADHD. I think a lot of people are taking those medications that don't really need it or could have other ways to address that. I don't think that necessarily means that one is causing the other. Like, it's if I were to say, look, youth suicide rates for women have gone through the roof, and I think it's because of feminism. Yeah, so it could be just because of social media, right? Oh, we're more lonely now because of feminism. Yeah, that could be also because of technology. I just think having these hardened A before B, therefore A caused B. I think you need much better evidence, especially if you're just going to use subjective happiness studies and medication to make a concrete claim like that. I just don't think that the data's, or I don't.
All you've used is subjective happiness studies. Everything you quote is about subjective happiness.
Wait, what did I quote about subjective happiness? I'm talking about which are not subjective happiness. I'm talking about incomes. I'm talking about health outcomes. I'm talking about domestic violence rates. Like, I'm trying not to use the happiness studies, except for the fact that there is like certain, if you're going to use them, like Gallup polls that show that women report higher levels of anxiety when they're
women are less happy with children. You just said that with the IFS. Like, you're just being dishonest. It's hard to have a conversation when you just like keep lying about what you're actually saying.
Well, when you start using happiness studies, then I'm saying, look, there are happiness studies that say the opposite. You started the thing. So when you say all studies show women are more happier in X, I go, hey, happiness studies are not a great way to like find the objective truth. And also there are happiness studies that show the opposite. That's not me bringing it up. That's you bringing it up and me combating your point by saying that there are happiness studies that show otherwise.
Okay, whatever. Fine. Again, you haven't accounted for the how feminism has not been successful. Like, where are the results other than women now navigating this world that they have created? Like, how are you accounting for the fact that women are not flourishing? They are on as many drugs as you claim that the 1950s housewives are. Where is the stark improvements?
Where were we supposed to see the like improvements to you?
I don't know. That was the feminist job.
I don't think it was the feminist job. Like, feminists never said, "Hey, you know what? If we
the downfalls easily."
No, I mean, no society is perfect. So I'm not saying right now things are perfect. I just don't know if you can attribute the negative things to society to feminism. And I don't think you can make that link. Do I think generally it's much better off now that women can have their own bank accounts and their husbands can't rape them and they can divorce their husbands freely? I think those are good things, for instance. Now you're like, show me the fruits of that. Show me the fruits of that. I mean, I guess domestic violence rates have gone down, and like, I don't know what you want me to do here and to show you that feminism was so successful. Yeah, are there lower birth rates? Yeah, maybe that's partially attributed to feminism. Maybe that's partially attributed to it's. I mean, it is definitely attributed to a multitude of things, which is why it's across the case. I mean, it's the case across like most of the world that's like developed and not like super poor. Yeah, I guess what would you like me to tell you, that women now that they have feminism, we're all like dancing in a field of dandelions? Like I don't know what you want to do here. What you want me to do?
mean, you just keep jumping around so much. It's hard to keep up. Like, it's hard to even know your points. So women can divorce their husbands. That's something you said. That's something you'd cite as good, as a win for feminism, that women can just leave their marriages, even though children fare far worse. Women are unhappier.
Children fare off far. Children share off far worse in unhappy and homes with conflict than they do with co-parents. So I agree. Ideally, in a house.
Sure, but yes.
But a lot of times, look, it's life. It's real. You say you want to be with somebody forever, and then things don't work out. There's a lot of conflict in the home.
Your solution is divorce, not mend the conflict. Your solution is divorce, not mend the conflict, not push society to value the marriage.
If you can, but I think people should have the freedom to leave if it's not working. And a lot of times it doesn't work. It just doesn't work. And I mean, obviously, divorce is not an easy thing. People are not just running around getting divorced.
It's a lot. It's very high, as you have stated. It feels just very nihilistic, Jasmine.
So fun and easy that people are doing it, or because
very nihilistic to just be like, well, it just doesn't work. That's all we can do. Like, it just doesn't feel like, at the root of it, it just doesn't feel. I just don't get the sense that you actually care about women. It feels like you care about your preferences, your freedoms to do what you want, and you want to preserve that because of some materialistic, hedonistic view, but you don't actually care about women as a whole. You don't care about the fertility rates. You don't care about the flourishing of society. Like, what do you care about?
My point. I'm just going to hit the same back thing to you. I feel like you're just trying to push your view and your propaganda on women. That's why you think the same thing works for all women. You're pushing women to do things that could be detrimental to them or could not suit them very well, but you're just doing it. You're pushing women into dangerous situations by trying to get them to stay in marriages that could be detrimental to their health and detrimental to the health of their children. You're not pushing things like college education, which definitely increases the well-being of okay, I could just sit here and throw actually, I feel like you don't care. It's just like a dumb way to debate. I'm not going to sit here and say you don't care about women. You probably do care about women, and that's why you believe the things you believe, because
I do care about women. That's why I wouldn't be like promoting OnlyFans and promoting the porn industry and promoting divorce. Yes, you are, Jasmine. You do promote it. I mean, that's what you do.
You wouldn't promote. Of course you wouldn't, because you don't think those things are good.
I don't think they're good for women. Yes, overall, and I have the stats for that.
Is that you say that because I don't agree with you, I don't care about the well-being of women. I'm not throwing the same thing at you, because I think it's low. I think it's lowbrow to just say, because you don't believe me, we don't believe the same things are good for women. That's the difference between you and me. So you're pushing the things you think are good for women because you think they're good for women, and I'm pushing the things I think are good for women because I think they're good for women. If you want to say, nope, I just don't believe you. All right, bro, I don't know what to tell you. It's just I do genuinely believe education, autonomy, agency, having the ability to make your own income, being able to divorce your husband if he's beating.
Define autonomy. Define autonomy. Wait, go ahead. Wait, sorry, James. Did you want to say something?
Well, Jazz, were you mid-sentence, Jasmine? Do you have anything you want to finish there?
No, I was just saying it's like a dumb thing to say. I think because you're promoting these things that you think are good for society, I think they're bad for society. So therefore, you also know they're bad for society, and you're still pushing them because you want to be a hedonist. I just feel like, all right, I just feel like it's a very lowbrow way to debate, but I could play that. I actually we could just do that back and forth. It's just dumb. It's kind of like with the abortion debate. It's kind of like, just going back and forth and saying, well, I don't think you care about women because you want to kill baby. Oh, I think you don't care because you want to force them to deliver baby. Like, it's just, I think that you can be pro-life or pro-choice, and both sides can have good faith actors that actually care and think that their position is best for women. I don't think just because someone disagrees with
you can think that. You can think it's best for women, but I'm telling there's a truth, right? There is an ultimate truth.
Yeah, but you're saying I don't even think it is the problem. You're telling me I don't care about the well-being of women, not that what I think is better for the well-being of women is incorrect. You're just actually, the things you're throwing at me is that I'm lying about my intentions, which is
I just think you're being disingenuous.
But. Okay, you can think that, and I could just then I'll just throw it back at you. I think you are. All right, now what? Like, it's just all right. We can leave it there.
Okay.
Just give me 1 second. I need to, but you can talk, James. I just need to respond to an email really quick. It's important.
Okay, while Jasmine responds to that emergency email, I actually am happy to promote. Folks, you guys, if you look at the bottom right of the screen, Modern Day Debate is getting on college campuses. We had mentioned several months ago, hey, we would love if you want to start a Modern Day Debate chapter, awesome. Or maybe you're like, well, I don't want to start a Modern Day Debate chapter. I have a Ratio Christi chapter or a debate club or whatever. We already have our chapter, our student group, but we'd love to host a huge debate on our campus. We've had 4 colleges already that were in the process of setting up debates on their college campuses. Big debates. If you were part of a college campus, doesn't matter the size, doesn't matter the location, reach out to moderndaydebate@gmail.com. Like I said, just with us barely plugging it, in the last several months, we've had tons of people that have said, like, hey, I'm interested. Tell me more. And now there are 4 where we're actively setting up events. It's going to be huge. This is Modern Day Debate's next big step. We have to constantly reinvent ourselves. YouTube is so competitive. We have to take this next big leap, and we're going to. So email me at moderndaydebate@gmail.com if you happen to have a college campus that you're affiliated with and you want to have huge debates on your college campus. We're going to make it happen. Any last points, ladies, that you'd like to cover before we go into the open Q&A?
I'm good, unless, if she has something that I can respond, but other than that, I'm good.
No. I guess we'll just go on the Q&A. That's fine.
Okay, one last plug. Folks, we are so excited. Let me tell you a little story. I got to tell you, for real, this is a true story. In 2020, YouTube was a tyrannical, nasty overlord. They demonetized tons of our videos. No joking, like even the ones that didn't deserve it. Some of them maybe they deserve it. But I was like, hey, we got to play this safe. We didn't want to get blasted off of YouTube. I put some of our debates, I hid them. I changed the thumbnail. I changed the title. I even hid them from YouTube, you could say. Long story short, YouTube is loosened up. And now those debates featuring people, as you can see at the bottom right of your screen, such as Milo Yiannopoulos, Stefan Molyneux, Nick Fuentes, Richard Spencer, Mike Enoch. Some of these I didn't even feel comfortable hosting, but we did. Whether or not it was right or wrong, if you want to see those debates, check out our members-only philosopher-level channel subscription. You can watch all of those juicy debates. I'm going to put the playlist in the live chat right now. Check these debates out. These are some of our most controversial, the ones that we don't really want public. But you as a member can watch them if you get onto our memberships at the philosopher level. We're going to jump into the Q&A. I do want to remind you, folks, our guests are linked in the description. The guests are the lifeblood of the channel. Really, this channel is not like a YouTuber essay channel. It's really a conglomeration of all the other content creators that are coming on. So I do encourage you, check out their channels. Even if you disagree with them, there's a lot of value to following them, checking out their content, because then you hear their positions straight from the horse's mouth rather than what someone says that they say. We're going to jump into these questions. Basil Problem says, Taylor, did Jesus approve of your tattoos?
I low-key hate my tattoos, so don't even worry about them. We all hate the tattoos.
Wow. There's only one cool tattoo in this conversation. This one from Basil Problem says, Taylor, stipulated society should treat women differently. Should we let them vote?
Should we let women vote? Is that the question?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I know some like anti-feminists are like not into that, but I do think women and men are equal in the eyes of the law. So voting, yeah, women should vote.
You got it. This one coming in from Marilyn. Happy birthday. I'm very excited for you, Marilyn. I hope you're celebrating. That sounds amazing. 25 karat gold. Labadoo says women should be allowed to do whatever they want and men shouldn't hold them back. Women benefit society tons. America is the greatest country because of women, not lack of them doing things like work.
I don't think anyone should be able to do whatever they want, number one. Number two, I think women are valuable. I agree, but I think they're most valuable raising their children.
Amazing. Prospering Cheetah, thanks for becoming a channel member, and thanks for this question coming in from Basil Problem, says Taylor. Every question is for Taylor. No questions for Jasmine? Really? I thought you guys were going to just throw a ton of questions. Okay.
I'm uncomfortable with this. I want more hard questions.
Basil says, Taylor, do you have less than 2.1 children? If not, what are you waiting for?
I mean, I have a kid, but I don't like to talk about it. It's fine. It's like personal.
Wow. Basil Problem seems to have a crush on you. I'm not even going to read that one. That's weird. Native Wildman says, I work for Kansas State University. Hey, that's awesome. Email me at moderndaydebate@gmail.com. We're going to set up big, juicy debates on college campuses. We believe YouTube deserves a better class of debate channel, and we're going to bring it to them. This one from, I think that's actually it. If there are standard questions in the chat, let me know. Just tag me with @moderndaydebate. Otherwise, we will probably be letting our speakers out, as we know they're very busy. I do want to call attention to the bottom right of your screen. Folks, you don't want to miss it. DebateCon 6 is happening in Nashville, Tennessee. November 15th. That's not a far ways away. You might be thinking like, oh, that's when it's like cold out and stuff. No. That's next month. We're in October. November 15th is when it's happening. So one calendar month from now, and then on the 15th, it's happening. You don't want to miss it. Let's see. Prospering Cheetah, thanks for your membership. Let me see if there are any last questions, and then we're going to let our debaters go. Thank you very much. Jasmine and Taylor, it's been a true pleasure to have you here tonight for this debate.
Thank you, Taylor.
Thanks, guys.
I'll be back in a moment, folks. I'm going to let our guests go, but stick around. I'll be back in about 8 seconds. Amazing. My dear friends, we are excited about the future. Here's why. You might be thinking, oh, James, what is it? Is it DebateCon? Yeah, that's for sure. You might be saying, well, is that it? No. It's not just that. Although I will say that's a huge thing. But also, as I mentioned, we are getting on college campuses. Different people are reaching out, and we're excited about that. Because it's a great thing that college campuses already have debate clubs. Like, there are already formal debates going on, like rigorous. I mean, they're like practicing like a wrestling team. Like, they're serious about it. And I respect that beyond belief. That training is so valuable. I've seen so many trained debaters, like they were part of a debate club and they used to drill. And that specialized training makes a person a good debater. And so I've seen some come on here and they've just like cleaned house. At the same time, we're like, hey, we also, in addition, want to collaborate to bring these big, juicy debates with these content creators that people are dying to see debate. And not only see debate, but to get to meet them in person. That's what we're working on. If you are affiliated with a campus and you're like, yeah, I'm serious about this, like that'd be cool. I want to know more. Like, how could this work? Email me at moderndaydebate@gmail.com. I'll put that in the live chat. And the cool thing about it is you might be like, well, you know, a modern day debate chapter, I don't know if I have that much time and energy to do that. But we already have a group. We'd love to promote it, you know, have people on campus hear about it. Could we throw a big debate event? Yeah. It would have your group's name on it. So if it's like Ratio Christi, Modern Day Debate says, hey, cool, this is your event. Modern Day Debate will help coordinate in terms of getting these speakers, like kind of leverage our network, reach out to the right people, get these speakers to debate in person on your college campus. We can help with some of the travel funding, getting them there. Modern Day Debate just wants to live stream it for the public. Whether it be live or uploaded later, that's even flexible there too. We just want to eventually release it on YouTube is what I'm saying. And then you get to have it, but it can be called, like if you're like, hey, well, I'm a Ratio Christi guy. Great, let's call it Ratio Christi Con. Doesn't have to be a debate con. And it'll promote your group so that more people on your campus know about it, and frankly, more people in the world, because if it's on Modern Day Debate and it's got two big content creators, it's going to get a lot of views. Want to say hi in the old chat? And then I'm going to also show you guys. So I have so many things to show you. I'm pumped about this. So let me show you a couple of these images that I've been showing already. In particular, we had mentioned it is huge. DebateCon is going to be huge. We love that we can throw our own conferences. We do this just at a private venue, so we think it's cool to do debates on college campuses, obviously. But we're also like, hey, like the cool thing is we can also host them privately. Like we can do this in the summer when college campuses might not be as busy. They don't have students around. I want to show you this. As you can see at the bottom right of your screen. Move this over. There we go. Fair enough. All right. Thanks for your patience. There it is. Okay. Here I am. This is going to be our biggest conference yet. I can tell based on the ticket signups. In the first month of tickets being on sale, we have never sold even close to this many. Not only that, if you were anywhere near Nashville, I've got to tell you, here's what's crazy. I looked the other day on Modern Day Debate, our DebateCon ticket sign up. I have found people are buying tickets from all over. Not just Nashville. In fact, I would say no joke, less than 10% of the tickets were from Nashville so far. I think they're waiting. They're kind of like, they don't have to worry about booking in advance as much, like in terms of their flight tickets and stuff like that. There are people flying in from all over, like Los Angeles. I've seen some in my neighborhood, like Las Vegas. People from Phoenix. It's crazy. I'm expecting this to be a just knockout, slam dunk, home run event. You can see Andrew Wilson. You can see Apostate Prophet, Dr. Richard Carrier, Muslim speaker, Muslim skeptic as he goes by, Daniel Hakikachu. Grab your tickets now. They're linked in the description box. Now, in addition, we got all this stuff. You guys, we got a lot going on, which is exciting. I had mentioned chapters. So if you were interested, you're like, hey, that sounds cool. Definitely let me know because we're serious. And the cool thing is, like I said, it's not a big commitment because you might be thinking like, James, like, I'm kind of tired. I don't know if I have all the energy to have a new chapter. I'm going to say hi to you folks in chat. I want to let you know first, really quick, you don't have to have a chapter. It can just be a one-off event. You have your own chapter already, like Ratio Christi, like apologetics group, or it might be like an atheist group. It might be Republican, Democrat group. And you're like, hey, Modern Day Debate, can you help us put on a huge event that'll help promote our group on campus and in the world? We'll do it. And that way it's just like a one-time thing. There's no commitment after that. Prospering Cheetah, thanks for being a member. And Hot Tuna, thanks for being in chat. Isa Kabir says, oh boy, our fan. Glad to have you here. I don't know what that means. But T Swan, good to have you in chat. Nathan KB, happy to have you here. Hate Paste, glad that you were with us. Gary DX Nixel, thanks for dropping by. GB Vowel, happy to have you with us. BLT, Says, I don't see the link for the debates in the description box. Let me double check. It's at the very top of the description box. Oh, the link. I'm sorry about that. I am such a... Now, it's also on our homepage, but let me get you that link because you're right. I did not put that in. I'm sorry about that. I'm going to put that link for this new juicy playlist right now. New members only philosopher tier playlist. You guys, check this playlist out. I'm going to show you on screen right now because you might be thinking like, well, what is it exactly in this playlist? That's so cool, James. Back in 2000, when YouTube was a tyrannical overlord and they were trying to steal, crush, and destroy everything of modern day debate, they were demonetizing our debates like crazy. And I was like, what? And we hosted some that deserved it. Like, there were some debates that I was even queasy where I was like, oh gosh, like I didn't, like these guys are... Brendan Langle was like, let's have a debate with Mike Enoch. And I was like, okay, like bring your buddy Mike in. And I had no idea who Mike Enoch was. I'm sorry. Let's see. But I'm surprised YouTube never banned us for that. That debate is part of this members only club. So playlist, I should say. I'm going to pin that at the top of the chat. We do have channel memberships though, for real, and they are cool. The perks are cool. I would say the coolest perk is, my favorite is the philosopher tier, because for just $4.99 a month, you get access to over 350 debates that are members only. This is 7 years worth, where not all debates, obviously, but a lot of debates have become members only, and a total of 400 videos, because some of them are debate clips. And these are our most controversial. I can assure you, the ones where we were like, eek, should we, like, is YouTube going to come after us for that? Those are in this list. Because we make them members only, because that way we figure, like, if someone's a member, they're not going to want to report us if we maybe broke the TOS a little bit, because they're like a member, like they support us, so they're not going to report us. So that's why they are there. Now, Norek, I see you there in chat, says it was cool to see Paul's ego debate. Normally he gets feisty, but he was pretty tame in that one. Yeah, it was an amazing debate. I loved Paul. Like, I see why. Like, he's a very authentic, sincere guy, and I was like, wow, that was like an epic debate. Basil Problem says, DebateCon 6 or Solvay Conference, which one will be more historically significant? I wish I knew what Solvay is. I don't get out much. Basil Problem says, so it's more than 20? It's more than 20 what? You mean like debates in there? Yeah. We have 350 debates. Basil Problem that are in that members only list. Basil Problem says, will you go to Liberty University and debate evolution? Yeah, I'd be open to that. Like, we could do an evolution debate for real. If Liberty's cool with it, which I think they would be. The biggest thing that unlocks doors for us, Marilyn, happy birthday, says, hit the like. I appreciate that support. Do hit the like, folks. We do appreciate that. Skylar, the creator, thank you for coming by. Let's see. Hate Paste, happy to have you here. And Jupiter Darman, thanks for being a channel member. Nathan, happy to have you here. And then Hot Tuna, glad to have you here. Respect Boy, happy to have you here. Says, what does feminism mean in today's context? Oh, so sorry I missed that question. Let's see. Native Wildman, thanks for being a channel member, and thanks for saying hit like. And BLT, thank you for coming by. Says, oh well. And let's see here. But yeah, we got to get you hooked up with a membership, Marilyn. And Mr. Green, thanks for coming by. I see you there in the old live chat. And also Gary DeSnill, Capital Science, happy to have you here. And let me just catch up really quick. Yes, Marilyn, you should definitely come to DebateCon. It's going to be amazing. I'm telling you, you guys, this is going to be a super, it's not just the debates. It's fun to watch the debates. But I have to tell you this. The coolest thing is meeting your favorite content creators. Meeting Andrew Wilson. Meeting Made by Jim Bob. Meeting Rachel Wilson. And Mike Jones of Inspiring Philosophy, Apostate Prophet. Jake of Rattlesnake TV. Planet Peterson. Dr. Richard Carrier. Daniel Hikikachu. It's going to be awesome. Seriously. And yeah, you don't want to miss this. And Marilyn says, I know a lot of people are going. Is that yes, it is going to be live and in person. And yes, thanks for your question, Ryan Lopez. Yeah, we're going to have security. That's our number one priority, is we have to keep people safe. That's my number one priority. Like, I'm the guy putting on the event. It's my responsibility that people are safe. I'm going to put myself, no matter what I have to do to keep people safe, I'm going to do it. So we do have hired security, as always. We've done that, I think, since like DebateCon 3, maybe. And not only that, but we have a 20-year military experience person on our staff that is an extremely clever leader in helping us make our security top-notch, clever, and very carefully thought out. We also have, in addition to the hired uniformed security, we'll have ununiformed security there as well. Because that's the obvious thing, is if someone wanted to start trouble, they'd probably go after the security first, because that's like the only, they would think that maybe it's the only threat. But it won't be, because at Modern Day Debate, we'll have ununiformed security as well. But, Mr. Green, good to see you there in the chat. Nathan, happy to have you here. And Prospering Cheetah, thank you. Drew H. says, okay, happy to have you here. Marilyn, that would be awesome. But yeah, I'm excited for you, Marilyn. I can't believe it. This is your birthday. This is a huge deal. I hope you're celebrating and having a good time. And yeah, we're excited about the future because, as I mentioned, we're going to get on college campuses. We are going to throw huge debates. The college campuses thing, one thing that helps us unlock doors is that if the universities have funding. And that's just because the speakers, like, I'm not worried about me getting paid. Like, Modern Day Debate, our kind of like the compensation we get is that we get to release these debates on Modern Day Debate. Like, that's huge for us. Like, I'm not worried about being paid. I'm not even worried about my travel. But the funding, if you use that to cover the travel, for example, let's say you want to make a pitch to Alex O'Connor. Well, Alex O'Connor lives a really far, long ways away. So if you want to have him come out, it's like, not only is it a long flight, but it's also lodging. And then it's also a lot of time that he's not able to do his normal work because he's on an 8-hour flight to the United States, probably like 10 hours if he's coming to Nashville. And so that college campus funding makes a huge difference. But yeah, thank you for your support. Let's see. Ryan Lopez. Want new names? I don't even know. I can't tell what you're saying. I can't tell what you're saying, Ryan Lopez. It's English, please. But yeah, thanks, Mr. Green, for your support. Now let me show you like a couple of last graphics because I showed you the chapters, showed you the debate con. So those tickets are linked in the description box. And oh yeah, I got to show you this too. This is are we in there? Here we go. Thanks for your patience. Members only. Okay. Is, as I had mentioned, STD. What is that? Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Can't believe how many we've got these. Tell me about your day, though, you guys. I'm curious where you are, because I'm in Las Vegas, I mentioned. Tell me where you are, because I'm curious. And okay, members. Okay. Check out our members-only playlist, including our most juicy debates and over 350 debates in total. As you can see at the bottom right of your screen, we have memberships here at Modern Day Debate. And not only that. Oh, okay, Ryan Lopez is saying, I think it's promo. Yeah, this is just like the post-debate, me promoting stuff that is coming up on Modern Day Debate. Check out the bottom right of your screen. Check out our new members-only playlist, including Milo Yiannopoulos, Stefan Molyneux, Nick Fuentes, Richard Spencer, Mike Enoch, Andrew Wilson, and other debates that are not available to the public and that you have not seen. So that's 350 debates. And some of these were available for the public and no longer are. This debate probably is actually going to be added, where a few days, we'll let it get its initial burst of viewership and then probably put it to members only. Maryland's out in Florida. I hope it's been amazing weather, Maryland. That sounds great. And then let me check. There's got to be one more. Chapters, sign. Oh, the signed photo perk. Last but not least, folks, DebateCon is coming, and you don't want to miss it. What am I doing? Oh, I was like, I slept enough last night, but I have to be honest, I'm starting to wonder if I didn't sleep enough because I'm doing weird autopilot stuff that I should have gotten right. Is that paste reference? There we go. The signed photo perk, our Indiegogo. We do a crowdfund where we basically say, hey, if you would like to. Mr. Green says membership start at only $1. Is that a typo? No, that's true. That's the lowest tier though. So it's actually, the good thing about it is if we do slow mode, you're immune to it. But it's the philosopher level that gets you, basically philosopher level is $4.99 a month. So that's what gets you the access to the 350 debates that are members only. I think I have to put that in the promo. Yeah. But let me fix this really quick. What I'm going to do. Oh, yeah. So you can see at the bottom right of your screen, the crowdfund linked in the description box. You can get a signed photo of Andrew or whoever it is your favorite debater is. I'm going to put that in the live. Yeah, I've got to put that actually here. So please do consider that, as that's something that helps fund debate cons when we do them as well. Excuse me. And then we'll be off to the races. So, like just 2 seconds here. But yeah, I have to figure out, let me see if there is a way to give, let me see. If there's a way to give a membership to a specific person. Like, I don't know if that's possible. I would think it is, but I also don't know for sure. Let's see here. Man, now YouTube is bugging out on me, and it was just when I was wanting to put in those links. So if you can, I can't see the chat anymore. Oh, man. But don't worry, we're going to get through this. That crowdfund, basically how it works is if you pledge at a certain level. So I think for the signed photo, it's like $97. So you're a major supporter of DebateCon 6. We print off that photo, get it signed by Andrew Wilson at DebateCon, and then we ship it out to you. So there are other cool perks besides the signed photo. We had basically, we had so many last time that we're kind of like, we're hoping, let's see. There were so many last time that it was like the debaters were like, okay, this is like 20 minutes of me signing stuff. So these are a little bit more exclusive this time. There's also still the signed emblem page, which I'm going to try to load up here too. Do you know if there's a way to give basically a membership? Oh my gosh, it's driving me nuts when YouTube doesn't work. I don't understand. Is it just me where sometimes I like load up YouTube and it just doesn't even respond? But what I'm going to do, folks, is I'm going to walk you through these perks really quick because we do have to go through these. Members. No, that's not it. IGG promo. Perks. Thanks for your patience. Okay. We have to find out a way to give a specific membership. And now what I'm going to show you too is another image perks. Showing some of the other perks from the Indiegogo crowdfund. So yeah, all this stuff is either mailed to you or it's digital. So like, let's say if you want your name on the thank you credits, is, as you can see, these are the perks. They're on screen right now. No, they're not. Now they are, though. Thanks to your patience. Okay. These perks are the ones that I was talking about. So you can see the signed photo of Andrew is one option. But also, you see at the very top left, it says give without a perk, just $5. That's just your way of saying like, hey, I support the project, but I'm not worried about a perk. We appreciate that immensely. You get our sincerest thanks for that. Then next up is your name in the post-debate credits, $20. After that, as you can see, top right, DebateCon 4, DC6 signed by all debaters. So this is basically DebateCon 4, that's just an example photo. But that's what it looks like. It says DebateCon 6, and it's got all the signatures from all the debaters. That's the next perk. Then, bottom left, signed photo of your favorite debater. And then finally, last but not least, Zoom one-on-one with Dr. James. That's me. Is if you were crazy for some reason and you wanted to Zoom for... but that's it, like... if you want, you can record it for like your YouTube channel. You can challenge me on things. You can ask me tough questions, and anything is like fair game. So let's see. Oh, okay. Marilyn said it's been like that all day for a lot of creators. Mr. Green, welcome to the Spectator membership. Thank you so much for upgrading your membership. And let's see here. Marilyn says you should have really let us vote for females. I don't even know what that means. Mr. Green is right. You do get a channel membership. It's that you get to use the channel emojis. This is true. And then there's also, if you go to the philosopher tier, then that's where you unlock the members only debate playlist, which is 350. But yeah, I want to say thank you guys for your support. Marilyn, it's like funny that it's been like that all day. You've just been on YouTube all day, but I'm so pumped for you. What are you doing for your birthday, Marilyn? I'm excited for you. Thank you guys for all your love and support. The future is bright. Keep sifting out the reasonable from the unreasonable. We will see you at the next big debate. Thanks, guys, for your support, and have a good rest of your night.